A lot of heat in the kitchen in North Kingstown this week.
The Dan Yorke State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
We got a real troublemaker on the set tonight. You know, one of those school committee members who's actually working on things like diversity, equity, and inclusion. Words which have, I guess when you combine them, have become almost dirty in and of themselves for some. Nice to have you aboard. Thanks for tuning into this weekend's State of Mind. An all education conversation tonight. I know that there's a lot of things going on, but now that we are bringing you the show once a week on Friday nights on Fox and Channel 12 on Sunday evenings, we have to kind of keep this, you know, more general than daily. Daily is weekdays 3 to 6 on WPRI. But I've been moved to discuss with one of the movers and shakers on a thought process in North Kingstown, where a book called Genderqueer, Genderqueer, is in the limelight. And, you know, I feel like we're going to have one of these things, not unlike the critical race theory debates that have been going on through the state. One school system deals with it, and then it pops up all over the place. So we might as well kind of get after it a little bit here this evening and have a conversation with the main culprit, and I say that affectionately. So we'll get to it momentarily. In the meantime, a couple of things educationally. Here are the headlines regarding scores, right? Holy cow. I mean, you know what? It's so bad that it's almost laughable. If it wasn't so important, we could laugh at it. There's a couple schools of thought here. You know, many of you may know that I'm an avid golfer. Struggling golfer. And there are rounds when I just say, you know what? I wasn't even here. I wasn't even here. So there's that. And then there are rounds where I say, you know what? I quit. We should choose the former, not the latter, when it comes to these broadcast scores. Oh, I wasn't even here. COVID. The great thing about COVID is there anything good about COVID? The great thing about COVID is you can blame everything on COVID. The bad thing about COVID is people blame everything on COVID. Let's take the former again. Let's just blame it all on COVID and restart. And take the opportunity to look at this thing and say, this is so bad that it can't get any worse. And I don't believe it can. Statistically, I don't believe it can. We'll talk more about this in the ensuing weeks, both on the radio and here, and try to get some answers. But sometimes you just have to say, you know what? I'll just tee it up again tomorrow. In this case, I'll just tee it up again tomorrow in the classroom and just keep plugging along. Now, in the meantime, we've got this farce going on, headlines on test and stay. You know, I'm sorry. We just seem to have this ridiculous, let me say this for the G-rated audience. We have this kind of adult small syndrome, if you know what I mean. You know, sometimes it's called a male syndrome, but it's an adult syndrome. It's Rhode Island versus everyone else, in this case Massachusetts, that jumped on the Idaho or Utah, I don't know which way, it's one of them, that did this and saved hundreds of thousands of school hours by doing this test and stay thing. Massachusetts jumps on it, spends $45 million in COVID money to get it done. It's optional for the districts, but they keep piling into it because they think it's a great idea. They have consultants working the deal. School nurses are getting help. Kids are staying in school because they're getting, you know, a swab to see if they're really COVID. If they're not, they go back to the classroom. And now, we come up with it in Rhode Island, and we're going to pilot. Here was the story.
Day out of the classroom. Because every day counts.
That's why the state launched a pilot program called Test to Stay.
Close contacts to school exposure who have consented to testing and are not showing symptoms will be able to stay in school.
A rapid antigen test would be administered at the start of school for 7 days, regardless of quarantine end date. Students can take the bus and attend school and school-related extracurriculars if there's adult supervision to ensure mask wearing.
Layered mitigation is still key. We've said it from the beginning. That means mask use, screening, contact tracing, social distancing, and vaccination if eligible.
Students in the program cannot attend non-school related activities.
They must follow the quarantine guidelines outside of school.
As for why the program is just for up to grade 6,
because the operational demands are less of a challenge, with one primary classroom at these levels.
After the pilot is complete in Westerly, a decision will be made to expand to other districts or not.
We will be looking at several metrics, including total of days saved by students attending school, the average number of days between exposure and close contact communications.
Yeah, okay, listen, as you folks know, I'm bullish on the commissioner. I really are. I really am. Thank God for Dr. Garceau in Westerly, who asked for this whole thing. They announced this, by the way, weeks ago, and now it's a new announcement for a pilot program for 30 days. What do they think they're going to find out in 30 days? Just look and see what the Commonwealth is doing. Sometimes, all the way back to Proposition 2.5 and a whole bunch of other things, we just have to copy and paste what our neighbors are doing, and just do it. Just do it. No, instead, we're going to make it 7 days versus 5 days in Massachusetts, and we're going to carry it over the weekend. And we're going to make sure that. And by the way, if you have a school event on the weekend, you're going to have to take a swab with you too. And Dr. Alexander Scott, notwithstanding her incredible work over the course of the last year or so, has another problem, which is the nobody's smarter than me problem, and I have to prove it. It's ridiculous that we're doing this with a 30-day K-6 pilot. Get the system up and doggone just get it done. It's as simple as that. It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. Jennifer Lima is my guest. She actually didn't come here for this, but she's a school committee member and a veteran. She's been there forever. I mean, a year.
Not even.
Which does it feel like, forever or a year?
Both.
Yeah, I bet you it does. Thank you. We're here to talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, and the latest flap over a book called Genderqueer. But in the meantime, can you believe that we're talking about genderqueer? Well, we have to, because we can't be flummoxed over it, because being flummoxed is actually at the root of the problem, right? So, but anyway, give me a short answer, if you can, on what you think about the test and stay thing. Is the school committee in North Kingstown craving this?
We haven't discussed it. We can't obviously discuss things outside of an open meeting. My personal opinion is I think it's a great idea. Our issue internally, as I'm sure with many districts, is staffing. Our current nurses are...
Yeah, the nurses can't do this.
They cannot
Consultants
do it.
have to come in, and additional nurses have to... You don't want 30 kids in the hallway. You're waiting for Mrs. Jones, the nurse. Right. You got to figure out a way operationally to do it.
So if somebody would give us the bodies to go along with it, and they have to be trained bodies. It can't, like, I can't just stand in the hallway and do it. You know what I mean? So that's the issue with implementing it.
Actually, you can.
Really?
You can make pedestrian hires to actually swab.
Okay.
It happens all over the place. But look, I mean, to your point, I understand. We're going to go slow. We're going to figure it out. Some things are just apparent.
Anything that keeps the kids in the school, I am all for. Yeah.
By the way, on the test scores, I noticed in North Kingstown, you only slipped a little in reading, and you didn't slip at all in math, district-wide. Did you see the scores yet?
I have not seen them yet.
So congratulations to North Kingstown. Your system has less systemic challenges than many systems in the state, correct?
I think that's true, yes.
In a way, not for nothing, I'm going to get crucified for saying this. You got rich people controversies in North Kingstown.
We do.
It feels like.
Yeah.
For instance, Matt, lay this one on us. This will be a tease for our conversation coming up in the next segment.
This is the talk of the town. We caught you. This is making the news. It's been talked about on radio shows. It's being exposed on social media. You're supposed to have our children's best interest at heart, and instead you're abusing them, and because your sick minds are caught up in this political war. Remove these books and apologize for your disgusting behavior. Enough is enough. Thank you.
All right, so we will talk to one of those sick minds. She's sitting here when we come back. Stay with us.
Any discussion of banning books should never be taken lightly. Genderqueer is available in our high school library, as well as 17 other libraries in this state, including 4 other high schools. It is intended for a young adult audience and is considered a valuable resource for any student working through issues of sexual identity and/or identifying as transgender.
All right, that's Phil Auger. He is the superintendent of schools in North Kingstown, and he has defended the use of this book, or the placement, I should say, of this book in the North Kingstown High School Library. Okay, you just fell out of your recliner, perhaps. I don't know why. Gender's an easy word, and queer is something that has morphed in terms of its definition. I would like to spend some time talking about your bigger mission, because you've been on this diversity, equity, and inclusion thing. So let me go back to that for a second, because
Sure.
we're going to get into this. And I don't want to shortchange you at least a minute's worth of time to talk about why you're involved in that. You're a new school committee member in North Kingstown. This is something that you, I believe, are catalytic
Yes.
with, this diversity, equity, inclusion thing. I promise you further time on TV or radio to dig into it, and we've had a conversation on the radio about it. In short, what is your mission with this subcommittee for the North Kingstown schools?
Our mission with the DEI subcommittee is basically to ensure that all students in the school, the short answer is to ensure that all students in the school feel seen, supported, and valued. And we look specifically at areas that relate to race, gender, disability status, socioeconomic status, family status, anything that we just want to make sure that policies, procedures, the school environment, those types of things, anything that might give children, that might make them feel ostracized, different, anything that are...
Why is this something you're oriented to?
I was inspired to kind of bring this to North Kingstown because I've seen it modeled in other districts. South Kingstown has done similar things, Barrington has done similar things, Charahoe has done similar things, and I think it's important that I specifically brought it to the district from a race standpoint. I brought it to the district as an anti-racism task force, and we decided to broaden it to include things like gender, and I think this controversy with the book is a perfect reason why it was broadened to include other things other than race, because diversity, equity, inclusion encompasses anything basically that's othered.
Your own personal life also informs you, correct?
Yes, absolutely. My husband's black, my children are biracial. I have seen, and I think a lot of people, unless they have had a personal experience with something, don't necessarily understand. Like as a white person, you don't necessarily understand how race can impact your life until you've seen it firsthand.
I'd love to have you offer anecdotes. I'm sure you could list all sorts, but interesting. Suburban schools tend to get into this. Urban schools don't.
Correct.
Why?
Because I think it is more, and I'll probably get crucified for saying this, I think educating white children about racism is more of a white person issue than it is white children need to learn about racism more than children of color need to learn about racism, because children of color experience it more than white children do.
You are a socialist, leftist, progressive propagandist.
Without a doubt. I mean, I just think that it's important. My whole premise...
I didn't expect you to embrace that. I was being facetious.
I was too. I mean, my whole premise is that not everybody walks through life with the same experiences as other people. And I just want people to be open to the possibility that my experience in life is not the same experience as yours. And our experience as white people is not the same experience.
You're talking about things in the schools, and you're causing problems where they don't belong. Get down to reading, writing, and arithmetic. Get your nose out of all this stuff. It's an agenda that absolutely should have no time and space inside the school system.
I disagree with that. Children are not just reading, writing, and arithmetic. Children are whole people, and they bring that whole person into the school building.
My kid's not a racist. Stop bringing it up.
I'm not calling anybody a racist, but I think there's a difference between not personally directing a racial epithet at somebody and just being aware of the fact that things in our country sometimes create systems that favor one race or one gender or one something
You're
over
a critical
another.
race theorist.
No, I don't think that's true. I don't
It's
think
all over the schools. You want teachers teaching all this stuff, and I don't know what's going on in the classroom, and you're indoctrinating my kids right under my nose.
My first thing with that is education is not indoctrination. Like, there's two totally different things. I welcome anybody to come check out the curriculum. The other thing that I think is hysterical is I've been on the school committee since I was elected in November. The curriculum is mandated by RIDE. It's been in place for years. I would love that one person is so powerful to, like, you know, affect all this change. It's not possible. And I think to be so concerned about learning about other people and other experiences is, we should be open to being aware of what other people go through.
All right, that's the best we can do on that. The time does allow. This book and its problem for some, and how the committee's handling it next.
We do not give a damn about what you think is normal. It is not your job to instill a definition of normal. Our job as educators is to teach kids how to read and to write. That is it.
Okay, well, that woman suggesting that the education job is limited to reading, writing, arithmetic. Listen, I've been here talking about basics and fundamentals for a long time, and when I was a young parent, well, when I was a parent of a younger person, meaning my kid, when she was in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade 20 years ago, I was standing in my head screaming about the idea that we don't need to philosophize a factor. Investigations math, I think, was child abuse. And I said so publicly. I said it at school committee meetings, but I didn't boo anybody who disagreed with me, by the way. But well, they threw it out, or they changed it at least. And change does happen. Education's fluid.
Absolutely.
You may not be correct about everything you're trying to do
Of course not.
in the diversity, equity, inclusion thing. You agree?
I do.
All right, so the Genderqueer book is on the shelf. Give me 30 seconds. Where is it? Where do you find the Genderqueer book on the premises in North Kingstown?
In the high school library.
And under a category, under a placement for transgender kids, or what is it?
I actually don't know the answer to that question. It happened to have been in a display case along with some other books. You know how they display certain books.
All right. So, listen, it is a graphic novel.
Yes.
Meaning the pictures tell the story.
Correct.
Okay, it's a format. It's a format of book. Pictures tell the story. The pictures are animated.
Yes.
It's comic.
It's comic book for bigger kids, basically.
Well, and it's got a beginning and an end.
Yes.
A comic strip is something you're just checking in on. This is a beginning and end story.
Yes.
It is, as I understand the intent, and I have not read it yet. I'm looking for a copy. After this taping, I'm probably going to get one. Can't wait. It's an autobiography of sorts.
It's a memoir. It's referred to
right,
as.
It's written from a perspective.
Yes.
Of somebody who's challenged by their sexuality or their gender, correct?
Somebody who was questioning their identity, correct?
It is explicit on issues of genitalia, sexual acts, all that kind of stuff, correct?
Correct.
And why is that educational?
Because for somebody who is having those same questions, I actually learned stuff when I read it, you know, that I didn't know or that I didn't understand.
Were you titillated by it?
Not at all. And that's, you know, the people who are saying that it's pornography has an intent to arouse. It has an intent to titillate somebody. These pictures are not meant to arouse at all. And when you look at them in context with the whole book, and you really do have to read the book to understand, you cannot just take those pictures.
People at this meeting read the whole book, they say.
And
they're still disgusted.
And I would question whether they would be as disgusted with the pictures and with the whole concept if it represented a traditional gendered heterosexual act.
Would you have a traditional gender sexual act depicted in a high school library?
Yeah, there is actually no actual sexual act depicted in the book. It's a simulation.
Yes.
Yes.
But we're late enough to be able to say it. There's an oral sex depiction. Simulation
depicted, correct.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, look, it it's definitely something that if I read, I'm going to go, oh.
I saw the pictures and I was like, I have to see. Even I was like, why is that in the library? Trusting that it was there for a reason, I questioned it. But
By the
I
way,
read the book.
this wasn't your committee that said put this book in
No,
there.
and it's not even part of the curriculum. It is simply a book that is in the library, along with thousands of other books that are available to anybody who chooses.
The super says he's heard from at least one student, former, that a book like this would help adjust their I don't know, coping skills with trying to evaluate their gender issues.
Right, like, am I the only one? Am I the only person that this is happening? I think it's important to see representation. And the other thing I just want to point out is this might be a different conversation back in like 1940, if we were talking about access to images like that. Today, kids have access to true pornography at the click of a button.
It's called the internet, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Two ironies. Screaming and yelling by angry parents, offers, in these public meetings, offers an example that I think is counterintuitive to what a good parent wants to provide for their children. And the gratuitous discussion and use of all of the words, in open mic testimony, which is what happened. Check out the YouTube video for North Kingstown. You'll be like, what? I think some of these women, they were reading the verbatim stuff, were taking Valium in order to be able to suck it up and do it, because it was like, what are they doing? To the school committee chair, he just let it go. In Florida, by the way, they arrested some people for obscenity for this. They think that they were outsmarting you by using the word, shocking everybody, and trying to draw attention to how awful this whole thing is, when actually I think they were trying to prevent their kids from being exposed to the thing that if they watched the YouTube meeting of their parents' behavior, they'd go, Mom, I can't believe you used all those words. Why did you read all those words? Dysfunction of debate is what just came careening over me. What was your thought?
That's right. I mean, we can have a difference of opinion. We can disagree over whether or not the book belongs in the library, but I don't believe that that's the way to have the conversation.
So to that point, let me ask you this. Can you find on the school committee a way to get around a conference table with reasonable parents who maybe directly disagree with the committee's perspective and talk this out? One of the things, both on critical race theory and on this kind of stuff, is that there's a gap of understanding, and there seems to be a lack of spirit de corps to try to have a reasonable conversation. Would you be in support of that?
And absolutely. And on this book, there actually is a policy and a procedure and a process to question a library material, because I asked that question, and
it ain't in a screaming meeting.
It's not, and there is a form that has to be filled out, and nobody has started that process. So instead of actually filling out the form, they blew up the pictures and came to the meeting.
Interesting. Final word and we come back. Stay with us. Jen Lima back. I'm hoping that we can have actually some shared time here with people who have different perspectives on stuff like this over the course of broadcasts, both on the radio on WPRI weekdays 3 to 6 and here. Just take a deep breath and think about the example you're offering your kids, no matter what you're arguing. Good night.